From the Associated Press, planning for potential presidential transition underway as Biden administration kicks it off. And maybe, just maybe, we finally made it. I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but my name's Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
It's free for you, but it helps me a lot. And of course, if you want to help me even more and spend a little bit of money, you can buy my book, New York City 2020 Gotham Unglued. It is on Amazon.com. That link will be in the description. But the Associated Press says, President Joe Biden's administration on Friday formally began planning for a potential presidential transition, aiming to ensure continuity of government no matter the outcome of November's general election. So, fine, I'll take it. They're going to sugarcoat it and make it seem like, yeah, I mean, we're not going to completely lie, cheat, and steal to maintain power, and we just want to make sure that there's continuity in the government so that you guys can all, enjoy the smooth transition. All right, whatever. Just get out of here, bro. Leave us the hell alone. Shalonda Young, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, sent memos to all executive departments and agencies directing them to name a point person for transition planning by May 3rd. It's the routine first step in congressionally mandated preparedness for presidential transitions. Yeah, okay, so now you want to do everything by the book, right? You somehow gave the CDC power to declare people didn't have to pay rent or whatever. You're canceling student loans all over the place, blanketing the country in mail-in ballots, installing cartel Katie Hobbs. But now, we're going to do it by the congressional mandate. All right, fine. Whatever, bro. Again, just get the hell out of here and leave us alone.
Great work, Rob. Great work. See if you can read this. You're fired. And in case your ears are fucked, get the fuck out!
All your weird crap, nobody wants it. And I guess finally, maybe, they're even starting to acknowledge that, okay, maybe our time's up here. Next week, White House Chief of Staff Jeff Zients, whatever, who also chaired Biden's 2020 transition effort, will lead the first meeting of White House Transition Coordinating Council, which consists of senior White House policy, national security, and management officials as required by the Presidential Transition Act. The act provides federal support for major party candidates to prepare to govern so that they can have personnel in place to take policy actions on their first day in office, which I'm 100% sure. We all know. We also, on the very first day, it's like, you know what? Let's open the floodgates. I know you're all still scared of Rona because we fear-mongered for the past year or two, but that doesn't matter. Now we're going to let in the illegals, and they're going to take whatever it is they want from you. And we're also going to force you to get a pharmaceutical. They're not going to have to do it. You're going to have to show paperwork, and it's going to be complete bedlam, but now we're going to play it by the book. Okay. And the establishment at large was completely against the pharmaceutical because that was Orange Man bad. But then fast forward 90 days or whatever, 6 months, whatever, 3 to 6 months. And then it was mandatory and it was for your health. It was for your safety. And they made up random arbitrary numbers. Oh, well, if a company has 100 employees, then they have to do it. If you have 99, you don't. I mean, quite literally, none of it made any sense. Making sure presidential candidates are ready to take charge of federal government became a heightened priority after September 11th, and the act has been updated several times since to provide additional resources to candidates and require incumbents to plan for a handoff with even greater intensity. So they know it, we know it, hopefully, because, I mean, let's be honest here. You can't put anything past these people, right? It's crystal clear. The media is absolutely melting down. They're throwing everything they have at him from a lawfare standpoint to try and maintain power. But I think everybody knows. Okay, you overplayed the hand. I've said it a million times. But you should have just gone back to the dungeon, the drawing board, and came up with a plan that people like. But they just can't do it for whatever reason. Right? I mean, you could still make money. You could still skim off the top. You could still insider trade and just stop with the wacky insanity.
I'm losing my patience. God, Double play.
Fuck! You're kidding!
Judge.
Young's letter is nearly identical to the one sent 4 years ago by Trump administration acting director Russell Voigt for a transition process that started out orderly but derailed when then President Donald Trump refused to concede his defeat to Biden. And there you go. They're always going to find a way. Well, Joe Biden just wants to do it peacefully. There's going to be continuity. Okay. All right, bro. And then, you know, before I get out peacefully and pass power on, I'm going to shuffle around, pretend that I'm still running for president, and try to literally put this man in jail. Anyways, it took until November 23rd, 2 weeks after the election was called. Oh, called by who? By the Associated Press? Called by the media? It was all completely fake, and we know it. Even Time Magazine came out and said, yeah, you know, we kind of fudged the numbers a little bit because we wanted to make sure that Orange Man didn't get in again. And in a weird way, I guess it's good, because if that had been on the level and Orange Man would have won back in 2020, then we'd be leaving his era. And now it seems like we're going to hopefully, maybe, if all goes as planned, we're going to get 4 more years. I mean, and he's going to have a huge mess to clean up, but it really shouldn't. Look, I'm not presidential material, maybe, actually, but it's the biggest issues. I'm thinking most notably of the border. It's really not that difficult of a problem. We already had laws, and they want to pretend, oh, it's complicated. We have to figure this out. And how are we going to do this? I have a couple suggestions. For Trump's General Services Administration to name Biden as the apparent winner of the 2020 race, a required step for the transition to begin. And they've been, the Democratic Party, the establishment, as it were, the left-wing losers, they have been kind of running on E for a while now. And I was obviously much younger and didn't really know what the hell was going on. I still don't really know what the hell is going on, which is what they want to do at all costs. But they kind of played the last hand in the deck with Obama. Vote for a black guy or you're racist. I didn't realize what was happening at the time, but now it's like, well, that was just the beginning. And then they tried to throw a lady in there, but that was just a bridge too far. Nobody wanted Hill Dog. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So when they tried out Barry O, and everybody loved him, but that was them just they didn't have any policies left. So that's when the identity politics really started. The law requires presidential candidates and the General Services Administration to reach a memorandum of understanding that governs everything from the provision of federal office space to access to sensitive documents by September 1st. Though it is often reached sooner, candidates must formally secure their party's nomination at their conventions before the memorandum of understanding can be signed. Transition teams vetting candidates for jobs in a future administration, including beginning the time-consuming security clearance process for likely appointees who need to be ready to take their posts on Inauguration Day. Biden in February launched a separate task force aimed at addressing the systemic problem of mishandling classified Joe Biden didn't do anything, bro. He quite literally, and I was just speaking with a friend earlier today, it's like, as much as I can't stand this guy and critical and a weirdo, corrupt, empty suit hack puppet that he is far worse now than he was even in 2020. It goes all the way back to the 70s. Even he was more alert and aware, spewing lies constantly, but he could at least put a sentence together. We all had a good laugh at Corn Pop, and the list goes on. The gaffes are absolutely nonstop. Most regular people have seen the writing on the wall. I mean, I remember way back in 2019 even saying that Beau Biden didn't stand a chance, and I still don't think he really did. And Time Magazine, of course, told us that he didn't, and they fixed it for us. They saved us from ourselves. And I mean, how did you not have anybody else? You couldn't have come up with anybody else. I guess just Joe was, he had a black friend. It just didn't make any sense. But for them to say that he launched a task force, he didn't do that. Somebody else did it for him and threw the word systemic in for good measure, right? Because on their way out, they're going to, we see it. They're burning everything down, not only to gain power and control of money, but also make it very difficult for Orange Man to come in and clean it all up. mishandling of classified information. Oh yeah, we're gonna raid Mar-a-Lago, even though you quite literally did the same thing with we all saw it, the broken box near his Corvette in the garage. But after all of it would be a full-time job to put together a montage of Biden gaffes. Maybe I have a couple. Jamie, can you run the clip?
The percentage of women who registered to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line.
We can find that unity again. Then the message said, end of message.
4 more years. Pause.
4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
But, I mean, either way, I guess now, hopefully, maybe, and I'll believe it when I see it, but they can see the writing on the wall and start to admit that this thing's over and no amount of fortification is going to get us over the hump. The systemic problem of mishandling classified information during presidential transitions. Days after a Justice Department special counsel's sharply critical report said he and his aides had done just what he left the vice presidency in 2016. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Doesn't matter. But maybe, hopefully, this is a little glimmer of hope. And I've talked several times, and I'm not the only one, quite obviously. We can all see the turns tabling.
Well. How the turntables.
But maybe, finally, we can absolutely stop this madness.